Welcome to Trippin' Tales from my toadstool. I'm your host, Kimberly Dawn, and today's tale comes from eyewitness testimony and local news articles recounting the UFO incident at Shag, Harbour, Nova Scotia, the site of one of the most documented UFO crash sites in world history and definitely Canadian history. It was 54 years ago that strange lights appeared in the night sky over the Sound. This is a summary of the details of that incident. On October 4th, 1967, it was a beautiful clear night for two pilots flying above Quebec, about 180 miles off the coast of Nova Scotia. At approximately 7:15 p.m., these pilots noticed something following behind them. They described it as a massive, rectangular-shaped object that was orange in color and floating through the skies with smaller orange orbs trailing behind, as depicted in this picture of the Canadian Mint commemorative coin recently released to remember the incident at Shag Harbour. The pilots, transfixed on what they were witnessing, were stunned when they saw an explosion near the rectangle, and a white cloud that changed from red to blue was left behind. A few minutes later, they witnessed another explosion near the object, leaving behind another cloud of shifting red and blue colors. They watched in amazement how the little orbs swarmed the rectangle as it fell into cloud cover and disappeared out of sight. This description was the aerial phenomena of Shag Harbour seen from the pilot's perspective. But as the pilots were witnessing this spectacular sight, the people on the ground would witness their own phenomena. As the object fell below the clouds, it could be witnessed now in the clear night sky over the Sound in Shag Harbour. First of all, witnesses all had the same story. They all felt the craft was approximately 60 feet in diameter. It hovered for approximately 40 minutes over the Sound before plummeting down towards the water. There were teenagers fishing, people on the shore, and even an off-duty police officer, all watching this take place in front of them. The closest RCMP detachment was located in Barrington, Nova Scotia, and their switchboard immediately lit up like a Christmas tree. The interesting thing about everyone that was reporting the incident to the police was that not one person said they saw a UFO at the time. All accounts were the same. Orange lights in the sky crashed into the water with a large aircraft. When the RCMP arrived, the object was still floating on the water. People were gathered on the seabed, and only 2 fishing boats were commandeered to take the locals out to the object. The immediate concern at the time was for the survivors. By the time they reached it, it had either submerged itself or simply disappeared. All that remained was a yellow sea foam that no one had ever seen before. So thick, they had to cut through it to look for survivors. Yet, nothing was seen. Again, at this time, no one understood what they were seeing, and the only thing they could possibly crash was a plane, so they were very concerned with finding survivors. As the investigation over the coming days went on, the military, which was 2 very close Air Force bases from the States and 2 Canadian, all became involved in the search. As the details were pulled together, facts like no missing aircrafts or people were ever reported. It made it clear this wasn't an aircraft, which created more and more mystery around the incident. And it was to become a UFO story in the newspapers worldwide within 48 hours. News all around the world were reporting on the incident at Shag Harbour. The search and rescue reports made it to what we call the Air Desk. In Canada, it is the organization that actually puts boots on the ground to actively investigate credible UFO incidents. Believe it or not, in 1967, Shag Harbour was only one of 9 of these investigations going on. The order was given to Maritime Command in Halifax to do an underwater search ASAP. 7 divers were dispatched and searched several days, supposedly finding nothing. It was a low-tech affair at the time, they said, with just flashlights and grid patterning. But at some point during the mission, as one of the divers was reporting their findings, they were told no more written communication about what they were seeing, and to only verbally report their findings from there on out. There was also reports of debris being removed. but no explanation was ever given for these two things. As time went on and more information was leaked, the story goes that the real hotspot was CFB Shelburne, where the UFO supposedly ended up on the bottom of the ocean. Among the 4 combined American-Canadian bases in the area, there was also a top-secret underwater station, as well as a high-powered radio tower in the area at the time. There is also something called the Orpheus Anomaly off the coast of Nova Scotia. It is a rift in the ocean, like Mariana's Trench. There are only a few of these rifts in the world, so deep we cannot get to the bottom of them. It is also a geomagnetic gravitic anomaly that isn't understood by our scientists as of yet. All of these rifts in the world are known for UFO anomalies. The story slowly faded from the headlines and the world returned to normal, except for those that couldn't shake the incident and continued their own private investigations. At one point, an unnamed source spoke to one of the investigators and told him he was a Navy diver on the scene in Shelburne and that he took over 400 feet of film of what he saw beneath the surface. He said he filmed a ship and it was being worked on by 4 other smaller orbs as alien beings walked outside of it. He said he dropped the film off at the Defense Research Board in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. The investigator did a background check on this person and his story, and indeed found out he was a Navy diver stationed there. The Science Channel sent Céline and Fabien Cousteau, the grandchildren of the famous Jacques Cousteau, to the site in 2018 to do more investigating. Even though they found nothing during their dives, they did pick up anomalous activity, which was recorded during their radio transmissions from the spot they felt the craft was submerged. What do you think of this story? Are there beings from other worlds visiting Earth? Do our military know of their existence? And if they do exist, then when will it all be revealed to the people of Earth that they are not alone, but in fact a part of a galactic community that has left it up to all of us to evolve humanity to a place it can understand the bigger picture of life? If we cannot get along with the people of Earth, then we are not ready to meet our neighbors from other planets. This may be why we have yet to be included in our galactic community. Our science and our technology are slowly bringing us out of the dark ages into an age where anything could be possible if we are willing to open our minds to it. Please like and subscribe to be notified when more stories are uploaded to my channel. Please email your personal stories to KimberlyDawnCanada@gmail.com, and I will be happy to read them from my toadstool. And please share with anyone that would enjoy these stories. They are for the purpose of evolving one's beliefs to understand the world we are about to see from a whole new perspective. We live in a multiverse, folks, where anything is possible. Open your mind, and until next time, I am Kimberly Dawn. Thank you for listening.